Hey, it's CVV, Chris Van Vliet, and you have to check out the fastest rising podcast in all of professional wrestling. I'm talking about the Crash and Burn Wrestling Podcast. If you're looking for pay-per-view predictions, if you're looking for pay-per-view reviews, if you're looking for interviews, check out the Crash and Burn Wrestling Podcast. Crash and Burn!
Hey everybody, welcome to Crash and Burn, where we are back with some interviews. Today we have an awesome guest right here. It's been a while since we've done these interviews, so it's great to bring these back. This interview series is called Crash and Burn Behind the Ring, where we have a chat with some professional wrestlers, YouTubers, and basically anybody in the professional wrestling world. So, for being our guest in today, let's bring in Mr. Josh Denker.
Yes. It is I, the assassin, Josh Denker. We're back with Crash and Burn Behind the Ring. It's been a while since we've done one of these.
I think the last time we done this was in August.
Yeah. We have an amazing guest today. So let's get down to business. Let's get started.
Next up, he has never done these type of episodes before. It's Lucas.
Yes, it is I. I said, why not do this? This is when I get this out of the way. Why the hell not? So, yeah, let's just do it.
Yeah, and last but not least, we have an awesome guest here, Cassandra Jenner, if I got your name right.
So my ring name is Amy Crimson, but yes,
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got you. Alright, so, welcome. Why don't you introduce yourself?
So my name is Amy Crimson. I am trained by Anthony Corelli, aka Santino Morella, and I train at Battle Arts Academy, and I'm a former Battle Arts Women's Champion.
Alright, cool.
Alright, nice.
Nice. Alright, so I guess we can get started on this. So basically, we just have fun, just joke around here.
Okay, no worries.
Just spread positivity.
Great.
You're welcome to curse on here, too.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we're not PG here.
No.
PG.
Yes, so...
Whoever wants to start with the questions,
Okay, let's go. Question one, when did you decide you wanted to do this, like be a pro wrestler?
So I started watching wrestling when I was 8. So I was born in 98. So I was like, I think that was around like 2009, 2010, around there, when I was 8 or 7 or 9, around there. So I started watching wrestling with my brother. And funny that you should ask, I believe it was an ECW show with MVP and CM Punk. So we just watched ECW, and that was the first show we like.
ECW.
Yeah, it wasn't like the hardcore ECW. It was kind of like the baby version of ECW kind of thing.
Yeah, the PG shit.
Yeah, shit. So I guess I watched CM Punk, and I was like, okay, this is interesting. So then we turned into SmackDown, and I see The Undertaker, and that intrigued me into wrestling. So then at 8 years old, I was like, okay, I'm gonna do this. I turned 19, I believe, 4 years ago, because I'm turning 23 in June.
Cool.
So I meet Anthony prior to wrestling. I believe I was like 14, and I told Anthony I wanted to be a wrestler. He said, you're not old enough, but at that time he didn't open up the school in Mississauga, Ontario. So by the time I turned 19, he opened up Battle Arts Academy, and then after I graduated high school, saved up, and I went to wrestling school.
Nice.
Awesome.
Nice.
All right, go ahead, Lucas. Why don't you go ahead?
Okay, so who was basically your childhood favorite of who do you idolize?
Okay, so I have a couple. So the person that I idolized the most, growing up was John Cena. I know it's the most generic thing ever, but
John
it was
Cena,
John
yeah.
Cena, hence the hat.
It's fine.
So it was John Cena, and then Edge, obviously, and Chris Jericho.
The 2021 Royal Rumble winner.
And then when I started doing wrestling, I basically started watching more of the older content because sadly I wasn't old enough to watch throughout the whole Ruthless Aggression era. So I just started watching the Ruthless Aggression era while I was basically training. I started watching matches with Eddie Guerrero and Chris Benoit. I know Chris Benoit is kind of like, but his matches and his wrestling was really good, and it got me kind of more intrigued, and I like his technical style, as long with Eddie Guerrero. So those are minus the murder part.
Yeah.
He's my inspiration.
Yeah.
I mean, I always say this to every like fan. It's like if you're a Chris Benoit fan, you respect the performer, not the actual person.
Yeah.
So like,
That's what
it's
I
like,
do.
yeah.
Don't think of the person. Just think of how.
Yeah.
Think of like how he was in the ring. Don't think of
Exactly.
what he was on the outside.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, so Josh, go
All
ahead.
right. If you could change anything about the wrestling industry, what would it be?
I think majority of it that I didn't like was how they portrayed the women at the time.
Mhm.
Now at least I believe at least they're now portraying them as wrestlers instead of being sexualized. WWE wise, they're considered wrestlers, but like some of the other like indie promotions or like if you say you look at the like small indie promotions, some of them are more sexualized than wrestling. So if I could change anything, I would like love that all promotions would think of women as competitors instead of using them as a sexual aspect.
Mhm.
That's what I would change in the wrestling business today.
Oh, okay.
I
Alright, so
agree with you completely.
Yeah, I agree with that as well.
what dream matches do you have for any company? Whether it be AEW, New Japan, any company.
Yeah.
I would love to have a match with Asuka.
Asuka.
Yeah. So fun fact, her trainer who trained Asuka actually trained at Battle Arts Academy and he trained us.
Oh shit,
So,
wow.
yeah. So I actually got a chance to train with Toy and she trained with Toy fully, completely, until he moved back to Japan. So if I were to have a dream match with Asuka, that would be amazing because we're trained in the same kind of Japanese strong style. So that would be awesome for me, kind of.
I yes, whoever wants to go next, go ahead.
Do you do you ever, have you ever been to like any what was like your first live show?
So I actually have a ticket, I think. So this was actually my first live event. It was in Toronto, Ontario, Canada. It was one of the live shows. I got to see Edge live, so that was my first show. And then
Oh, lucky you.
yeah, and I got to see the Nexus live as well. So those were one of them. And then I actually got to go to Roadblock in I believe 2016 when they came and made it a televised event
Oh,
in
the
Toronto.
Roadblock event.
Yeah. And then I actually got to go to the Survivor Series and the Takeover in 2016. So yeah, that was all of them were in Toronto, Ontario. I never left Toronto, Ontario, so all of them were there.
Mm-hmm. Wow, okay.
All right, I'll ask a question.
Go ahead.
Do you prefer to be babyface or a heel?
Oh, I love to be a heel. Like being a babyface. Now I don't know if you guys seen some of my like matches and stuff, but when I started, I was like pure heel. And then when I won the title, I moved to babyface. Now, being a babyface was difficult for me. Not because I'm not liked, it's just for my character wise. It just didn't suit like the type of character I was going for. So being heel was like my favorite thing to do because I get to flip off the fans. I get to like basically be rude. I get to like flip their hats. Like if they go for a high five, I could be like, nah. It was really fun for me. It was just really fun. And it got me out of my comfort zone. So being a babyface is all cool because I'm nice and shy, but being a heel is what really made me go out of my comfort zone.
I agree.
Oh,
It's
that,
like
being heel's fun.
we got as female Stone Cold like to flip off people.
Yeah.
Yeah, all right. Do you have any hobbies outside of pro wrestling?
So I do train in judo. I was trained by Anthony Corelli because he's my sensei. I obtained my green belt before COVID happened. I do play video games. I play COD, Fortnite, and yeah, I know the face Fortnite. But I try to play Grand Theft Auto and all these new games. I've been trying to play
GTA.
Village. Trying to get Village, but it's really expensive. But
Oh,
I play
okay.
games on the side, yeah, and I draw as well.
Isn't that the one with the tall lady?
Pardon me?
Is that the one with the? Is it the village the one with that tall lady, the like 8 foot lady, whatever it is?
I believe it's like Resident Evil 8. I have Biohazard. I played Biohazard, but I haven't played Village yet. I want to play Village.
Mhm.
No, I exactly know what you're talking about.
All right.
And I also draw as well. I'm an artist, so.
Mhm.
All right. So who wants to go next? Go ahead,
Um.
Josh.
So I always ask this question to like people that I meet that are from like different states and different countries or whatever. Besides like wrestling, because wrestling's a sport. What other sports do you like besides wrestling?
So I was I was an athletic kid. So I played basketball all throughout high school, soccer throughout my whole life, volleyball, basically majority all the sports. Um,
Mhm.
basically, I don't know if you guys know street hockey. If you
Yeah.
Oh
guys,
yeah.
it's a huge thing in Canada. We just play in the cold, play field hockey and like street hockey. So yeah, I was just like a very athletic kid. So like soccer, other than wrestling, kind of thing.
Do
So
you watch sports on TV or you just play sports?
I just play sports. If it's on like supposedly like the playoffs, like I'll just watch it here and there, but I'm not really like really into it kind of thing. I'll just like mostly rather play it than watch it kind of thing. And the only sport that I usually watch is wrestling.
Okay.
Oh, nice. Nice.
Okay,
All
I'll
right.
go next.
Yeah.
Okay. So, what of all time? What? Okay, you can like name a top three or whatever like that. What is your favorite?
Like my favorite wrestlers of all time.
No, well you can do that too. I'd say finisher. Finisher.
My favorite finishers. So my favorite finisher would have to be the 619. The
Yes!
RK,
619.
the RKO, and I believe the Blue Thunder Bomb. I really like the Blue Thunder Bomb. It's not a finisher, but I like it.
Nice.
It technically can be, but 6'9", people don't know Rey Mysterio, idol stuff.
He was one of my favorites growing up as well. I idolized him.
We got something in common. We love Ray.
Yeah.
All right. So mine's So you say that your ring name is Amy Crimson, but so how did you come up with that ring name?
So funny story. Okay, so I started off as like a psycho kind of character, and it didn't really work as much. So I was trying to find a character, and I was trying to ask Santino, like what I can do. So one day, so I come from Malton, Mississauga, and Malton, Mississauga is kind of like a little like, as you could say, a little rundown kind of thing. So my coach had a funny thing where he would call me gangster because we would talk slang and everything. So he said, why don't you just be a gangster character and say you're from the streets of Malton? And then it clicked. And that's the reason why I'm Amy Crimson from the streets of Malton, is because of Santino Morella's idea of what he thinks I should be, kind of thing. And I did it, and it worked. It actually got me the Battle Arts Women's Championship. So I went from a nobody to something, kind of thing.
That's amazing.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
All right. Good, Josh. Thanker.
Okay. Best advice someone gave you.
So I actually got advice from The Miz. Um,
Oh, the Miz.
yeah. So I was coming in.
Oh, so.
Yeah. So I was coming in to train. He was coming out, and I basically stopped him and asked Miz, like, or Mike. That's what his name is. And he basically told me, he's like, if you're going to basically do a promo, you have to do your best goddamn promo you can ever do. And he said if you have to do a promo on a shampoo bottle, you do the best goddamn promo on that shampoo bottle. And he said, kid, if you can do that, you'll make it no matter what. And then another, actually I have a couple, from Shad Gaspar as well, rest in
Oh,
peace.
Shag Gaspard.
Um,
Rest in
so
peace.
he was at one of our shows before he sadly passed away in, I believe, March of last year. He was in our February show, Battle Arts Pro. And we were all speaking to each other, and he was all talking to us. And he told me this. He's like, listen, in this business, you're a woman, and it's going to be hard, but you have to bust your ass harder than everybody else to make it, kind of thing. So that stuck by me, like, regardless. And another one was from Aaron Stevens, Damian Sandow. He basically helped me with like my character work and told me, he's like, if you're going to basically work with this character, you have to believe it, kind of thing. And it just stuck with me, and that's why I appreciate everyone that gave me advice. And there's more, but we could talk for ages about that.
Oh yeah.
Funny
Okay.
story. I actually got advice from some wrestlers also. I got advice from Taz. I got advice from Marty Skrull. I got advice from, I think, I actually just met Damian Sando not too long ago as well. So, I mean,
Yeah, that was awesome.
yeah.
Question came to mind.
Go ahead, Lucas.
Growing up, like, okay, we did singles comparative. I think we did singles. What was your favorite tag team?
My favorite tag team were the Hardy Boys.
There
Yeah, those
Yes.
were fun fact. When I was a kid, it was Dress as Your Favorite Celebrity Day. I went to school as Jeff Hardy, so that was funny.
That sounds like a great.
Did you
That's a
tank
great.
top and armbands, and all that? I actually dressed up as Jeff Hardy before too, actually.
Oh, that's cool. I got made fun of, but it's whatever.
I
Hey, it's alright. It happens.
dressed up as the Fiend.
I had the necklace as well. I don't
I
know
dressed
where.
up as John Cena, actually.
That was my brother. He dressed up as John Cena.
I didn't care at all what people were saying. Hey, it's my thing.
So, I have a question. I asked this to everybody. Like, it could be anybody that I talk wrestling with. Favorite wrestling promotion right now?
So I know I do wrestling, but I'm always gonna be a WWE guy, no matter what. I grew up on WWE, and I feel like I'm just gonna be still, even if the product's not the best as it used to be, I'm still gonna be a
Right.
WWE guy. I try to I try to go into other promotions, like I try to watch some type of AEW or like some type of matches of New Japan, but mostly my focus is on WWE kind of thing.
That's alright.
That's great. Some people are like that because
Yes.
it's
I'm
like
excited
they're-
for July. They're going back on the road.
Oh
Yeah. Hopefully they can come to Toronto, Ontario. I know that we're still in restrictions, but
Right.
I hope so.
They're starting in Texas, right? Anyways.
All right. Why all of us have a person or a tag team having that shape? What was the person in wrestling you hate the most as a child?
As a child, it had to be either JBL or Edge as a child. Like now I like love JBL's character and I love Edge's character after starting to wrestle, but the storyline that I hated as a kid was Edge versus Vicky Guerrero. Like that storyline when they were
I
together.
remember that.
Yeah. That was, to me, like seeing The Undertaker get vanished from WWE because Edge was like sneaky with Mi Familia. Like that was something that made me so cheesed as a kid. But now looking back, I was like, this is like literally amazing. The fact that he got my 8-year-old self to be so cheesed at him, that's amazing.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
It was like me with the Nexus. It was like I hated the Nexus as a kid, but after watching them years later as I got older, I was like, these guys were great back in the day.
Yeah.
I used to hate Roman Reigns, but now I have like a lot of respect for him because I like how he's carrying SmackDown right now.
Well, the thing with Roman Reigns is that like I feel like a lot of people didn't like him because they were forced to like him kind of thing, and it didn't organically grow for people to like him. So I feel like now that he's naturally being himself and he's more vocal on the mic and he's more like organic on it.
So like as the tribal chief right now.
Yeah, I feel like he's more like himself instead of being forced to be somebody else kind of thing. So he's more comfortable on the mic and with himself. That's why it's flowing better, and that's why people are getting behind him more kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Another question.
Yes.
If you had a dream match stipulation, what match will you be in?
I would honestly want to be in a ladder match or like some type of stipulation like that, like a TLC match, because those have always intrigued me to watch it. If not, like possibly like a Hell in a Cell match, that would be sick. I actually got to be part of a Battle Rumble in my like school, so that's cool. Or I would be like in a Royal Rumble match. So yeah.
No, they'll just pop the sun and make Foley did.
Yeah, Hell in a Cell this next month anyways, which is weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was wondering why. I was like, 2 Hell in a Cells? I believe they probably got rid of Extreme Rules.
I think that's happening in October this year.
Oh, really? Maybe they're
Yeah.
Just mixing it up, probably.
Yeah.
They're changing up the calendar for 2021.
Yeah. So I mean, a lot of us have like done meet and greets with performers before and stuff like that. So if you had like a favorite meet and greet with any like wrestler that you've met, um, who was it? And
So I actually, when I was, I believe, 12 or 10, when I went to the first live show, I got to meet Natalia, and I got to meet Tyson Kidd, her husband, and David, I believe, Hart Smith.
oh,
Yeah. So
How
I
about
got to meet the Hart Dynasty, I guess. I
yeah,
believe.
the hard
I believe they were called the Hart Dynasty. So I believe I was 12 years old. I met Natalia, and I told her I want to be a wrestler, kind of thing. And she was really nice about it. She's like, "Oh, you can do it. All you have to do is like be older, and you'll be fine. Go to a school and kind of stuff." So it was really cool to meet like a woman that was really big in the industry at that point because she like had her time, and on top of that she's one of the Hart Foundation's like family members and one of the Hearts, so that was an awesome experience. And like hopefully I could meet her again throughout my journey in wrestling so I can at least ask for advice for more wrestling and possibly tell her about the thing I said before.
yeah,
Yeah,
that's awesome.
that's awesome. So something I have here. So back during the quarantine period, back when like COVID was like really bad that we cannot go outside, how did you keep yourself occupied during the quarantine time?
So we're still in quarantine here. So
Oh,
in Ontario, we've been locked up for, I believe, almost 8 months. Our
8
stay-at-home order,
months?
yeah.
Oh boy.
Well, I haven't had a match since March 2020 of last year. Um,
Oh man.
our stay-at-home order is done on June 2nd, and we're gonna start opening up on June 14th. But what I've been trying to do is basically focus on my fitness, focus on like my wrestling knowledge, so my wrestling psychology and my ring psychology. So watch as many matches as possible. Try to stay in shape and try to keep my diet as clean as possible. Try to do as much cardio and like trying to build my brain. Build my brand. I had like a mini stroke. Build my brand as much as possible, kind of thing, so that I'm not like working as hard to get back into the ring because I know it's gonna be hard. And then as well try to like build my brand so that people know who I am, kind of thing.
Hmm.
Yeah, just trying to keep as much busy as possible during this hard time because we don't know when it's gonna.
Yeah. Well, at least vaccines are here, so that's good.
Yeah, we have some vaccines. I think half of our population had the first dose, but our government's trying to say that we have to at least have 60% who have the first dose to start opening up. So hopefully that's
Yeah.
soon.
I'm fully vaccinated already, so it's good.
I'm getting my vaccine on Saturday, so fingers
Oh,
crossed.
nice.
Yeah.
just beware
Good luck with that.
side effects. Is all.
Yeah, be aware of the side effects.
Yeah.
They're annoying to deal with, trust me.
Yeah.
What a question to always this question I always ask. What is your favorite theme song? Like just of all time.
My favorite theme song, it has to be Metalingus by Edge. With Edge's
There we go.
Yes.
favorite. Or it has to be Eddie Guerrero's Lie, Cheat, and Steal.
Mhm.
Let's that one is my favorite.
Yeah.
Eddie. I always love Edges. Like the suddenness of you think you know he's kind of like the surprising part. Eric, when anything is written off or whatever that you think you know, he's like, oh shit, he's here.
Yeah.
It's kind of like it's kind of like oh shit, like
It's the obvious.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just one of the best things. I always listen to that theme song, and I just think about like his entrance from the Rumble of last year or entrance from WrestleMania 24.
Yeah.
It's just like Edge is like almost all of us hate Edge as a child, but now to see him now, we're just like proud of him. I mean, he
Yeah.
took nothing off.
Yeah.
To be honest, I always loved Edge as a child. Just like his in-ring ability, made me fall. He was like the reason why I fell in love with wrestling. Just like his character and his in-ring ability.
Yeah.
And then when he retired, that's when the whole world just cried.
Yeah.
I cried that day too.
I think we
Yeah.
all did.
We all did, for sure.
The funny thing with wrestling is that we could like be laughing, angry, and crying, and like it's just like a roller coaster ride the way you watch it, kind of thing. So
Absolutely.
Exactly.
People always say like, why are you so passionate about wrestling, and why like you
They
you
questioned me
cry
about that
and
in
you get
school,
over like
anyways.
when a wrestler dies or whatever. I'm like because you're so attached to them as a kid, and then it's like if something happens, it's like
That's how I felt when The Undertaker made his final speech at the Survivor Series event.
it's like this year when Brody Lee passed away, it just kind of it
That
just
hit me.
tore my heart into pieces because I watched him from every like promotion that like not like on his indie run, but like when he came to WWE and then when he left and went to AEW and was the Exalted One, I was like, this could turn into something big for him. And then he won the TNT title, and I was like, is Brody Lee like
Then he left
injured?
us so suddenly.
Yeah.
And then like on my friend's birthday, they said like he passed away. I'm like, wow.
Worst part is it was during the Christmas holidays too.
Yeah. But now they're making
Anyways,
his kid into like a big thing, so that's
the
good.
last question I have, at least for me,
Yeah.
So when you first started training, have you had a backup plan? If that doesn't work out for you?
So at first, I didn't have a backup plan. I was just full force wrestling because that's all I wanted to do. And then COVID hit, and it kind of made me wonder, like, okay, what if wrestling doesn't pan out, kind of thing. So I did end up going to school and getting my certification for personal training and still getting my certification for nutritionist. So hopefully, I make it to wrestling, and I could get paid to wrestle, get signed to a major promotion, and then build a gym and start my own business, like kind of like how my coach did, how like Santino Marella did, and then I could possibly like build like a school and teach others how to wrestle and stuff like that.
Oh, okay. Nice.
Yeah. I have one question.
Yep.
What are your eventual goals in wrestling?
So my eventual goals is to at least obtain like a WWE tryout, get signed to WWE, at least work for one of the major promotions, like either AEW, Impact, New Japan, Lucha Underground, something like that. After like at least getting signed, at least win one of the major women's titles. Try to build like a legacy for myself. As long as I build a legacy in one of the major promotions, that's one of my goals. And then just to keep like being the best I could possibly be, so that
All
I
right.
keep getting more like opportunities and kind of thing.
All right. Good luck with that.
Yeah,
Thank you.
good luck.
So, okay. All right. So, if you could be part of any faction of all time, what would it be?
If I had to be part of any faction, I think DX, because DX was like one of the factions that made me die of laughter as a kid. They were just so fun and like funny to be around. Like I could only imagine being part of some of the segments. So I would love to be part of.
Yes.
Let's just all admit.
Suck it.
Yeah, we all did that, and we all got in trouble for that.
Oh,
All of us pretty much did that. I remember I did that. And I got in trouble for that.
I
Imagine
remember.
an 8-year-old girl saying that. My mom didn't like me
wait,
too.
That's not necessarily at the same time. It's just,
People were dying when I did the Stone Cold What thing in class one day because I was in class and one of the teacher was teaching. I'm like, what?
what?
Like, I heard the teacher said, I was like, what?
Turned stone cold for a minute.
Yeah.
Oh,
Stone Cold is one of my favorites of all time just because of his character and just like who he is in the ring. He's just too funny. That's why I love Stone Cold. That's why I have like his sense of humor.
What? What, Josh?
What?
Sorry, I like to annoy Josh all the time.
Yeah.
In a good way.
It's all funny.
Josh just gets bullied a lot here.
No.
Don't mind. It's how we act around each other as a team.
Yeah.
As a team.
Okay, so another one that I have had in my head. All right, so let's make a top 5 actually. Top 5 wrestlers of all time.
My top 5 wrestlers of all time would have to be Stone Cold Steve Austin, Eddie Guerrero, Undertaker, Shawn Michaels, and Chris Jericho. Those are my top.
Nice. That's a good set of favorites.
Okay.
Yeah.
For me, okay, this is gonna be very tough. All right, well, the one that comes to mind is obviously Rey Mysterio. Undertaker as well. The Rock comes to mind. Jericho comes to mind as well. Pains me to say that I hate him as a Edge. Pains me to say that.
Yeah, for me it's Edge, Triple H, Chris Jericho, Bret Hart, and Shawn Michaels.
But imagine you got a Bret Hart and Daniel Bryan. That would be a technical one. Oh, another one that I had. This goes for anybody. What was your favorite entrance? Like, what's the entrance that gave you chills if you see it, like, either on TV or live?
So it would have to be like the Undertaker's entrance, because that was the first ever entrance.
I felt that too.
So like the Undertaker was something that like caught my attention. Like at first I was a little scared because I was a kid.
Same here. I've been there.
But after like time went on, like it's just when you hear that giant dong, like you know that
the lights go out, fans start popping.
You know it's gonna be him, and then like it just so many moments with that theme song. It's iconic, and that's why like that's one of my favorite entrances of all time.
What's funny was most like 8-year-old kids are like scared of the Undertaker because he's that. He
has like a horrific character.
Yeah, he's a tall guy who's like dressed in all black, and then. But me, I was never scared of The Undertaker as a kid. I was not even frightened at all. I just watched him on TV like he was just like somebody that I idolized. Same with like, because Rey Mysterio, he wore a mask. I was like, oh, Rey Mysterio is like a superhero or something. That's the funniest thing about me because I was never scared of The Undertaker at all. Same with Kane. Because Kane, when Kane came out.
of Destruction.
Oh my God, it's Kane! Oh my God!
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the late great Paul Bearer.
Yeah, because when Kane came out, you heard that fire, and then when he came in the ring, he always would do, that, and then like
explosions.
Kids are probably sitting there almost crying they're like, oh, he blew up the arena. No, it's part of his character.
It's just like the pyro, basically.
And now look at Kane. Kane's a mayor.
He's in the Hall of Fame too.
Yep.
The entrance was pumped up for some reason was. That is just always just Batista's. Like his music.
For sure.
Like, always.
Boom.
It always give me like hype for some reason. I was like, I think I saw him live with that entrance once. I was like, oh my God.
I think the entrance that gave me chills at a live event, like in person, when I think I was about like 8 years old, I think I saw Edge's entrance for like the first time. And then I think the second would have to be Kane.
Yeah.
Mine would have to be Stone Cold and The Undertaker.
You saw him live, man.
Yeah.
You got that. And then for me, like to hear Rollins' Burn It Down thing live was just insane.
I heard that at house show too.
Oh, I have two questions. I was to ask. Oh, I know some people have a wrestling crush. What was your wrestling crush?
So I actually didn't really have a wrestling crush.
Really?
Like, no. Like, I wasn't really, like, I guess I was, like, 8 years old, and, like, I was just into it for the wrestling, not that purpose. I guess, like, maybe, like, Randy Orton or, like, John Cena, if you were to think, like, that would be, like, my wrestling crush, but, like, nothing really too, like, serious or obsessive.
One thing that I was going to ask you was, since you said, like, you had, like, top 5 of, like, the males, like, who was your favorite women's wrestler, like, growing up?
Of, like, all time? So it had to be, like, Trish Stratus, Lita, Beth Phoenix, Sasha Banks, and Asuka. Those are my favorite.
I like that. Okay.
One more came to mind, actually. And, like, okay, so, who are your favorite, announcers in pro wrestling? Whether it be the ring announcers or the commentators.
For the commentary, it would be JR, Jerry Lawler, Michael Cole, Taz, and JBL. Because for some weird reason, JBL is hilarious to me on commentary. Like, his sarcasm was, like, awesome. Like, I know he said some dumb stuff, but it was funny to me, kind of thing. So when I would watch it, it would be funny.
How about the ring announcer side?
So I would basically be like Lillian Garcia, I guess, Todd Grisham, Josh Matthews, I think he was an announcer. I'm not too sure.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like it's so bad, but I don't know that many announcers. I know more refs, kind of thing. But those would be like my top 3 kind of thing. And the guy that announces Edge, really well.
Tony
Kimmel.
Kimmel.
Tony
And the
Kimmel.
guy that announced The Undertaker is also my favorite.
Yeah,
He's now in AEW.
Yeah, he's one of my.
Justin Roberts.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So a question. This might hurt some souls or whatever like that. But what is the wrestler? It's kind of overrated kind of thing. What's the wrestler you cannot?
Who I cannot stand. On a character standpoint, Charlotte. Other than that, I believe she's like an awesome person, and she's probably the nicest person ever. But her and Nia Jax, I can't stand, kind of thing. I don't. It's not that their work is bad or terrible, because I love their work. They're amazing. They're probably amazing people, but I just don't like their type of work, kind of thing that they do. Like their kind of character. It doesn't sit right with me, kind of thing.
Well,
Yeah.
What about like kind of like the overrated kind of thing? What like overrated like wrestlers, right? You know.
Like overrated wrestlers. There's at a point I thought Roman Reigns was kind of a little bit at the time. Now he's actually showcasing more, so he's not really.
Yeah.
There's not really that many overrated wrestlers I could think of that I thought that were overrated. I kind of just respect what they work, like what they do in the ring, kind of thing. Overall, like I think they are good, I guess, kind of thing. So.
I understand that.
Yeah.
I was just thinking that I was hoping it hurt some souls, but that ends like.
Yeah. For me, on a character standpoint, it's like you see these guys in the ring and you're like, oh my god, they're such assholes. They're such idiots. But when you meet them in person, they're like the most genuinely nice people. It's like.
Yeah, they're showing their true selves.
It's like, for example,
that's
it's like.
the job.
Yeah.
See, that's where the job comes from, because you have to basically make people hate you as a heel. So if you're doing that, then that means you're doing your job properly. So if somebody wants to play a star at the end of the show, you're doing your job properly.
Yeah. It's like some of them do stay in character just because, that's how they are, pretty much.
Like take MJF, for example.
Yeah, I met MJF, stayed in character the whole time.
He made that camera video for you.
Yeah.
He told you to go after yourself.
Yeah. It was funny because, and another one that stays in character too is Lacey Evans.
Okay, alright, so okay. I just lost one. I don't know. I lost.
Anyways.
Last month. Okay. Okay. So, what is your favorite? Well, you can rank them or whatever. But what one of your favorite wrestling matches of all time?
One of my favorite wrestling matches. So it would have to be WrestleMania 25, Shawn Michaels versus Undertaker. That's one of my favorite matches of all time. Watching it was awesome. Like just the way they put it on a show. Like it was like the first 5-star match that I believe I watched. My second match that I would really love, would have to be Lita versus Trish Stratus when they main evented Raw in 2004. And then my third one would be Edge versus Undertaker 2008 SummerSlam. That one in the Hell in a Cell, that was one of my favorite matches. And my last one would be Bayley versus Sasha Banks in the Iron Woman match. Like that one was one of my favorites.
Oh, I remember that match.
Oh yeah.
Awesome. I think that's the one that Bayley did in inverted. I think it was inverted more than Ron.
I believe so. I'm not too sure, but I would have to watch it back to clarify. Okay.
Oh, so I know you said Asuka, you get in the ring with Asuka, but any other women wrestlers you want to get in the ring with?
If it's not Asuka, I would love to have a match with Becky Lynch. Just her technical style would be awesome, and like the fact that I would have Japanese strong style where I trained, and then her technical style, that'd be awesome, kind of thing.
Oh,
yeah. This is a question that just came to my mind. If you could have anyone as your manager to accompany you to the ring, like who would it be?
I would love to have Paul Heyman. Just his
Paul
charisma.
Heyman.
Perfect answer.
His charisma and the way he talks on the mic, it's just he can make and break your career kind of thing. If you have him by your side, clearly, since Roman Reigns has had Paul Heyman by his side, his career like skyrocketed. So it's like to have Paul Heyman by your side, that would be awesome kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I guess we got a Paul Heyman girl in the house.
Yeah.
To be honest, back then I wasn't really much about Heyman last year, but now back on, it's like now I kind of like the guy because he knows how to drop a promo. Like if you don't know how to speak, get
He's
Paul
great on the mic for sure.
Yep.
get Paul Heyman to speak, man. That's what managers are for. You don't know how to speak, then get a manager to do it. So that's what I kind of go by.
Oh yeah.
Alright, so I guess we're good here. We can end this off then?
Yeah.
Well, thanks for checking out this recording of the Crash and Burn Behind the Ring episode where we had a chat with Amy Crimson. Here, hope everyone enjoyed this episode and subscribe. Josh.
Alrighty, guys, it's been an amazing episode. Thanks for watching the fastest rising podcast in pro wrestling, the fastest rising Crash and Burn Wrestling podcast. We hope you guys enjoyed our interview with Amy Crimson right here. Go follow her on social media. Go follow us on social media. Everything will be down below. Subscribe to the Moshcast where we talk about some music.
Our music podcast that we do.
We have a new episode coming soon with many more to come.
With that, and for here.
Yeah, and stay tuned for more episodes on this podcast as well as the Moshcast. And stay tuned for more interviews.
The next time you'll see us, we're making our predictions for AEW's upcoming pay-per-view, Double or Nothing.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be a great show.
Or they're
That's
having
all I
a full
can think
capacity
of.
crowd, I believe, at Daly's place.
Yeah, first time in I don't know how long it's been since they had a full capacity
Since
crowd.
March 2020.
It's been 100 years. It's been 100 years.
100
Just say
years.
it like that. 100 years. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions down in the comments who we should interview next, we'll try our best and we'll see who we can get on here for the next interview. So,
Alright, Lucas, go ahead.
over to you.
Yeah, since I almost up. Thing that's happening is actually an honor to have an interview with Amy Crimson right here because I've never done this and actually it's pretty cool to have an interview with a Westworld. So yes, all that, and I'm gonna pass it to Amy over here.
Yes, Amy, end off this video.
Thanks, guys, for having me. Guys, check out their podcast. Something you guys don't want to miss. And if you guys want to follow on my Instagram, I'm Amy Crimson XOXO. My TikTok, Amy Crimson XOXO. Everything's Amy Crimson. And if you guys want to check out some of my matches, just type in Amy Crimson and everything should pop up. And don't forget to click the link below and click the like button and share this video to as many friends as possible.
All right. Thank you for coming, and we'll see everybody next time. Have a good one.
Out.
Crash and burn!